1960.
Hey everyone, MJ here. How's it going? We're at the Jar Jar store. We're going to turn the lights out any moment. And we're doing one of my most fun types of streams for me, actually, which is a cinematic live stream. We have a vintage 50-year-old, actually more, 50-year-old Voigtländer lens. It's on my Nikon Z6 III. It's a 50 millimeter and f1.8, and it is a nice lens. It does amazing work. I've been taking photographs with it in the field, and what I'd like to do is show you what these photographs look like before we actually get into the live stream and show you, the street scene here at night. Of course, the light's on now, so it's a little bit, I don't know. So I have hang on a second. Yeah, I've got, I can't change this now, but anyway, hopefully we don't have too much buffering going on, and they were telling me something about my keyframes not being right. Oh well, if they're not right, then that's nothing I can do about that. But let's go to the Voigtländer media and show you some pictures that I've taken with this lens, because one of the main characteristics of this lens is what we call 3D pop. Casey Stern from Camera Conspiracies talks about this all the time. It's actually a conspiracy by now. But 3D pop is a type of micro contrast that these old vintage lenses exhibit in many cases, and it's actually due to flaws. This lens is very flawed, but the flaws look cool. That's what I like about it. It has character, and the character is what you want. Now, I've got the fan blowing on me, and I'm using noise reduction, so hopefully I won't have any fan noise to speak of. Let's go ahead and take a look. These are some shots that I took around my neighborhood here. And okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to get my audio going just for a second on that one scene. This is a guy who has a fruit truck in our neighborhood. If you look, you can really see how three-dimensional. Wow, car is crazy. You can see how three-dimensional he is. He looks like he steps, right out into the photo. Especially look at the shadow on his arm. This was taken at a local park, and this photo, you can really see how the students there that are playing. It's amazing how they really are three-dimensional. They're not flat, is what I'm trying to say. They're sticking out in front of the background. They're very separated from the background. And here's another one. This guy is very separated from the background too. And I really like this photo. And I like how the flowers fall off. Really something. Make sure you got everybody here. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Listen, I was kind of preoccupied and I didn't get a chance to see the chat come in, but I appreciate it. I know you've been waiting for me to reply. Sorry about that. I'm kind of handling 3 or 4 things at a time here. Good to see you. Good to have you with us this evening. Rob is in Taiwan. Now this photo here is another one that's one of my favorites. And this woman is very, very forward of the background. And we start to see a little bit of reflection there. It's pretty interesting how it smooths it out. It's very, very smooth. Here's another one. This is a lady on a motor scooter in front of the High Life. And I got another shot from the other side that looks like this. And these are all this is Voigtländer magic. This is just amazing to me. I took a shot during the day, actually from right here, right from Jar Jar. And these people are standing in front of the table here, and they're in shadow, and we see the background behind them, and it's very blurry and very separated. Dave, good to see you. Fist bump to you. Good to see you, bro. Always a pleasure to have you in. And of course, our last Voigtländer photo, we have our old friend Win Win talking on the iPhone she loves. And this photo, I guess I could say, probably is for it's probably for Rob Ebner, because he's a big Win Win fan. So nice to see all you guys. We're on the DJI Pocket 3, and we have over here the Z6 III Nikon with the Voigtländer 50mm f1.8. This lens is 50 years old, and I have a slotted hood on it. That lens was actually made in Singapore. It's one of the Singapore versions, and it's known for having 3D pop. It's known for the micro contrast. It's known for all those things that we actually love. Ah, there we go. The lights just went out. About these vintage lenses. Okay, so the lights went out. I think this looks a lot better. Now we're going to do something kind of unusual tonight. We're going to do something that I haven't done before, or at least not in this type of a live stream. The DJI Pocket 3. And in just a second, we're going to go over to the mirrorless camera and we're going to show you the night scene here. And I have the aperture wide open, so you're getting, you know, the full micro contrast and 3D pop, although the micro contrast isn't quite as visible on something that's far away, on a distant topic, so, or on a distant, what am I trying to say? Yeah, on a distant subject. Sorry about that. Okay, so we may be having some buffering issues, and I hope we're not, but okay. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead. And we're going to go to the mirrorless camera now, and this is the Nikon Z6 III with the Voigtländer 50mm 1.8 vintage lens. This lens is 50 years old, and I have it focused not quite at affinity, but like where the truck cab is. And what makes it really interesting is that you might see that the cars that pass in front are actually slightly out of focus, and that's because of the shallow depth of field. Now this lens is spherical, it's not anamorphic, and I intend at some point in the very near future to be getting an adapter to make this a 1.3 lens. Yeah, Dave's giving me a signal report using line. I think I had some keyframe issues. I might be buffering, but this is totally sorry about the little shake there. I have the camera set on a tripod, small tripod, that's in front of, it's on top of the battery station. A lot of background noise, but I think my voice is actually above it. We have a lot of trucks on this road. This is the industrial park. Now this lens is not anamorphic, and it is 50mm, which is a medium focal length. It's a portrait lens, and you know, you have to step back a little bit. The Saturn, when I did the live stream last time with the Fuji, the Saturn is 35mm, and I had it on the Fuji, which is an APS-C, so it's a little bit, it's like, I think it has, hey Bernardo, how you doing, bro? Good to see you. Fist bump to you, and you'll appreciate this, Bernardo, because Bernardo's a photographer, and he knows about these things. And he knows what Voigtländer means, that's for sure. I guarantee it. But looking at the video from before, it seemed a little bit wider because of the focal length. Now, when I put the 35mm anamorphic lens on the Nikon, because the Nikon actually films in 16:9, it should be extremely wide. But here's a strange thing. I'm using the Nikon in webcam mode, and it actually is in 3.2, which is basically the format that you want for anamorphic. So it will squeeze it into a very nice cinemascope. Boy, this is shaking too much. I gotta be careful. It'll squeeze it down into a very nice cinemascope ratio. Okay. Images that I'm showing myself aren't too creepy. They're not, you know, passport photos. They're designed to be characterizations, you know, like almost like cartoons. That's the whole point. They should be recognizable. So, but for those of you who saw that that video today on tariffs, please let me know what you thought of it, of the you know, the tariffs. Let me know what your thoughts were. If you have any questions or comments, that'd be cool. I'm going to go ahead and move the Voigtländer a little over to the right. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if that's going to be any more stable. All right, I just got to not bump it, but yeah, let me get rid of that. There's kind of a shield over there. It's like, you know. So that's the 711. And we're on auto exposure. And we're on a normal color profile. But what I like about it is, I like the lens flares. And let me tilt it up a little bit just by hand. I'm just grab by hand, see if we got any lens flares on these, on that. Actually, we don't. No, it's yeah, auto exposure. Yeah, webcam mode is kind of weird. I'm gonna have to work on that. I am not as familiar with the Nikon Z6 III as I am with the Fuji that I normally shoot on. So, what I would have to do is I'd have to open the flippy screen and look at the menu and maybe make a change. Well, I could do that. I could do that right now. It just, you know, you'll just have to bear with me on the Pocket 3. So I'm going to go down here to ISO sensitivity settings. Yeah, ISO sensitivity control is off. Okay. Now let's go back to the mirrorless and see. Yeah, that should. I think we're good. That looks really good, actually. I'm going to close this up. Okay, so that's super bright, and we're going to pan a little bit here to the left. Oh, did you see that lens flare? Oh man, this lens flare. The lens flares on these motorcycle lights are just phenomenal. Wow, look at that. That's just. Oh yeah, I love that. That's the character that I'm talking about. That's the character that you just can't really get in a lot of modern lenses. They just are too perfect. You know, they try to get those things out. They try to take the character out. And, well, in a lot of respects, you can't blame them. But the truth is, you know, it's character. And when we have these characters in our lenses, it looks normal. But when they're not there, it looks clinical. And that's the problem, because I had like an issue with that when I was in North Carolina visiting my sister. We were watching a movie, and I was watching, what is it? Ford versus Ferrari. And it was completely clinical. I was watching it on her TV, and what I had to do was I had to switch and go upstairs to her movie theater where she's got an actual movie theater projection system, and it made it look a lot smoother, more cinematic, but gosh, it was ridiculous. It was too clinical, just too sharp, oversaturated. Now you see how like some of the foreground elements, like motorcycle at the traffic lights, you know, they're out of focus. That is real cinematic kind of character. And the other thing is that the way the highlights roll off. Now we've got another opportunity. Every time a car or a cycle turns coming towards us, we've got an opportunity for another lens flare. And the way the light, I think I should leave this open because I can use this. I have focus peaking on, and I can just check the focus. And, yeah, okay. Yep, focus is right where I want it. And so These kinds of flaws make for a fantastic cinematic experience. Now, if I were to crop this and take some of the height out, it would give the illusion of it being wider than it is. That car that just went by there was not in focus at all. And let's see if we got a scooter. They're not going to turn. But you see the halo around the headlight on the scooter? I'm not using any kind of a glimmer glass or anything. The only glass in front of this lens is a protective VU filter, and that is it. It's pristine. It was, cleaned very well. It's been protected with that cover. There you go. It's another lens flare. There's a big round lens flare that it produces when it's struck by light at a certain angle. And I don't know, I could just let it sit here all night like this, like a webcam. That also happens to be the toll-free number for Phoenix Media Forward Studios when you call it. You'll get the studio auto attendant. All right, so recently you guys know that I was in Japan, and I went to the USA. Also, when I was in Japan, I went to Map Camera because I got my Fuji XS. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. I had my audio disconnected for a second. All right, so when I went to Japan, last year I had bought my Fuji XS20 from Map Camera. And when I went this time, I took the lens that I bought at that time, which is an 18 to 55, and I sold it to them and used the money to buy, in addition to some more money, an 18 to 135. So this is 18 to 135, and the specs on the 18 to 135 are amazing. They're almost as clean as the other ones, as the 1855. So I went to Massachusetts, and I stayed with my friend Grady and Pat, and they were just amazing. And there was an ice storm there, and they said it was like worse than the blizzard of '78, which is, I was in the blizzard of '78 too. That's another story I need to tell you guys. But this was ice and snow on the tree in the back porch, and we went to work on a vintage amplifier that I have, and we didn't finish it. It was a very, very, very ambitious project. We removed like this power supply. This is the spring reverb that got removed. We're gonna put it back in. This is another shot of that power supply. But there's so much that we took out, and this is what the panel looks like. And rewired the output jacks on the thing and did a lot of work, but we didn't get quite finished. A couple of things happened. The whole chassis needed to be reworked. We had to rip all the guts out, and because it needed a modern power supply, and partially because of the storm. We couldn't get the parts that we wanted on time, but fortunately we had like some cute squirrels. They're on the porch and they were hanging out. And the storm was actually quite beautiful. It wasn't bad at all. I mean, and I got to tell you, I really, really enjoyed my time with Grady and Pat. They're amazing hosts. Their home is just beautiful. It's futuristic. It's on a lake, And these are all shots that I took with the Fuji, the Fuji XS20, and those were taken. Some were taken they're all taken with the 18 to 135, and I did take some photos. Didn't show them now with the cinematic anamorphic lens, the 35mm Saturn, and that was really something. So, wow, we're kind of light on the comments we got this time, guys. I don't know what's going on. But well, I think what it is I don't live stream anymore. Things are so different. It's a hot night. Gosh, it's a hot night. If you guys saw my latest YouTube short, we've got our cooling wipes. I'm going to take a quick break here. And they're also good for mosquitoes, because mosquitoes don't like the smell. So it's always good to take out a couple of them. So kind of spread it around. All right. But things are so different, the live streaming, the landscape and everything. Just people are so opinionated, and this is my fan here. Things are so political. And if you say the wrong thing, boom, cancel. You can get just really, in an instant, you can lose everything that you've built just because somebody didn't like something you said or the way that you said it. And I try not to be controversial, and I'm not political. Excuse me, but I just don't have as much to say anymore. And I think, as I'm getting older, I think a lot of what I have to say probably isn't as relevant as it was 10 years ago. I mean, let's think about this for a second. This is 2026, and we were doing Periscope in 2015, 2016, that's when it really started happening. This guy's like so absolutely enthralled with me. Better watch the road, not me. It's crazy. Yeah, but notice how he was out of focus. That's cool. But 2026 is a lot different than 2015, 2016, when I started the Taiwan Live TV project and was doing Periscope regularly, and then it kind of just fell off. Oh, that was a beautiful lens flare. Did you guys see that? That big round circular flare? That was just gorgeous. Oh yeah, look at that. That's cinema gold right there. Modern lenses try to change the way that characteristic looks. Now, if you made that anamorphic, it would turn it into an oval. I'll pick up on that in a second. But yeah, it's just that things are just so different, politically charged, and I don't know. A lot of the fun of live streaming has gone out of it for me, and I hate to say that. I really do. Because I used to really enjoy it, and I used to enjoy the conversations that I had with people. Really quite something. It's too bad because I can't see the camera shake on the preview in the software, but I see it in the I see it when I'm looking at the live stream itself. I'm gonna have to be careful. All right, the next time I do this, I'll make sure that I have a little bit better tripod. But about the circular, all right, let's do this. About the circular, okay, I'm gonna focus on the motorcyclist. Now you see, that was a substantial turn of the focus ring, and the cyclist is in focus. And look how three-dimensional that is. Even on YouTube, I mean, that just pops off the screen. And that lens flare that you get, it's just really something. So what's going on now is we see the three-dimensional placement of the motorcycle against the background. And we see that the background is out of focus. And wow, that's what I got that lens for. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go back to the background. Yeah, that's it right there. That was the 3D pop, guys. That's what Casey Stern is talking about on Camera Conspiracies, and he's right. And he would love this lens, no question about it. Oh my gosh, that hurt my ears. These idiots do this. They take the baffles out. But getting back to that lens flare is it's round. You know, it's a spherical lens. But when we do put the anamorphic adapter on it, it turns into a squeeze lens, and that will become oval. And I was watching a movie. It's funny because I didn't notice it when I watched it 20 years ago. I wasn't thinking about cinematic production at all. And the movie's called The Relic. And there are all kinds of optical flaws in the movie, but it just looks so amazing. There's one scene where the main character in the film is next to a light, and there's a blue streak, you know, which is a characteristic of an anamorphic lens. But then there is that circular lens flare that happens, and it is oval, and it's absolutely horrific. I mean, it almost obliterates him in the scene, but it only happens for a second. You know, it's not that bad of a deal. It's pretty interesting. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking at the live stream. Of course, it's got a process. We're actually, I have to see. I'm gonna take a look at this. Yeah, we actually are in 720p. We're not in, I'm definitely not live streaming in 4K. We're downscaling from 1080p, 30 frames a second. But yeah. So I think this live stream is going to have more value in the replay than it has in the live aspect of it, because we're not getting any interaction at all. That's okay. No harm done. I'm going to try one more time and see if we can. Oh, there we go. We got, oh, just in time for another circular lens flare. I think we got another one coming up here with this car. Let's see. Yeah. Nice circular lens flare. Wow. Now that's something that did not happen on the Saturn anamorphic when I had the anamorphic out here. I got the long horizontal streak characteristic of the anamorphic lens, but yeah, that is just something. Yeah. Now I'm unable to actually crop this. All I can do is transform the size of the frame. So if I could, I don't know, let's see. I don't think I can. Yeah. I was thinking about cropping it so where it was, you know, a lot smaller on the height to make it look like an anamorphic, or at least a cinematic aspect ratio. But I'm not going to do it now. This is native right here. This is the output of the camera, and it's actually slightly weird because of the fact that it is in a webcam mode. It's actually 1920 by 1440. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on this car. And there you go. Focus right in on the wheels. It's amazing how the depth of field is just so shallow. So I focus right in on the wheels. And then when he, well, you can see already that everything around it behind him is already out of focus, right? And so that is about as 3D poppy as you can get, to be honest with you. It's really 3D. It seems like we're still doing automatic ISO here, and I don't know why that is. Because this is a manual lens, there's no aperture that can be varied. This is all auto ISO. Right now the ISO is set at 400, and okay, I'll have to kind of check that as things happen. All right, let's go ahead and focus back on almost infinity. All right, so yeah, nice. We've been on for 38 minutes, and I have proven the concept of the cinematic remote live stream. You know, we used to call these, back when I was doing broadcast engineering, we would call this a remote, where we would set up and actually broadcast from a remote location, you know, like a bar or something. I actually built a rig for that. Then I sold it, and somebody wanted to buy it, but I built a rig that all fit into like a drum, a barrel. It had a radio receiver, like a car radio, and with a, you know, an antenna on it. I'd put the barrel on the roof, and I would drop the cable. Excuse me, the cable held, I don't know, 1,000 feet, something, 500 feet, I don't know, cable. I would drop that down, and we'd find a way into the building so we could use that for the air monitor. But yeah, I had like a briefcase with a telephone. It looked like a spy rig back in the day. But you set up, plug a mic in, and you could talk to the studio on the phone. And they would be broadcasting, but not video. You're broadcasting audio from like a sports bar or, you know, other places for events. And I really used to like doing that a lot. And this is kind of like, for me, a remote broadcast where I've got my notebook computer here, and I've got you know, my power station, EcoFlow, just like in the thumbnail that was accurate. Of course, I don't have a Les Paul behind me, other stuff, or the lantern. But Dave pointed out I need to have Dutch ovens. That's what I need to do. I need to have Dutch ovens in that. But according to the EcoFlow right now, okay, so I've got my fan is charging, and let me turn it on. Okay, so I'm running the camera, the notebook, the Pocket 3, the fan. I'm running 75 watts, between 68 and 75 watts. I'm at 88% since I started. I could do this for 7 more hours. And so if you plug that in, you can recharge it while you're operating. And if I charge this from the mains, it'll charge at about 990 watts. It's almost 1,000 watts charging. It's really, really fast. It's great. I have not heard anything from Caspar in quite some time. Bernardo, it seems he made a post online, the Line app, fairly recently. I think it was in the group that you're in, the late night group, I think. I don't remember, but to answer your question, no, I haven't seen or heard from him for a long time. I don't think he's live streaming because, you know, I follow him on all the channels, but there's nothing there. He hasn't been active, you know. I've got no, what am I trying to say? Notifications at all from anything. So yeah, who knows? I don't know what's going on. Disappeared from sight. And the other thing is he started a business here in Taiwan. You know, he was operating a lab last time I heard. I mean, I don't think any of that is a secret. But it was like he just disappeared off the face of the earth. So no Casper. Don't know where he is. Guys like JL are still around. I see stuff he's doing every once in a while, you know. The thing of it is, though, is all this, you know what, this is kind of what I was talking about before, though, about things, you know, changing, right? Because, you know, Bernardo, that's what brought us together was live streaming, right? And then when the live streaming kind of fell out of fashion, a lot of the glue that was holding all these people together, you know, kind of, I don't really keep in contact with so many of the old live streamers, you know. Now, of course, you are in the line group that I started, you know, years ago, and all those folks are still there. I talk with Dave frequently. Lately, I've been really busy, so is he. I just talk to Dave like every day. I talk to him like every other week or so, you know. How's it going? What's going on? Bounce ideas off and stuff like that. Jevons is another one that I see once in a while, and I was really happy to meet Jevons' life partner before I went to Japan over the summer. Yeah, so it was cool. I mean, I had a blast with them. But John Sabo, keep in contact with him, you know, from the Periscope days, and some of the ones who didn't actually scope that much. I still am in contact with quite a few of them too. You know, more of the ones that were viewers rather than streamers. Still, you know, a couple of them, but by and large, that whole thing has just exploded in a bad way. Is gone, evaporated, I guess, a better word. And you know, the attempts to rebuild the community with Heckle, for example. I mean, I have Heckle on my phone, and when I go there, you know, nothing against Simon, because this isn't about the app, this is about the content. And it's just, there's a couple people that are, you know, they're okay, but I mean, I knew them from before, but it's mostly just like, people use it for short messaging. I see people that, you know, they got the camera covered and the title is like, you know, it's they're having an argument with somebody. I was like, what is that? But it's mostly just like, oh, I'm going to the store or something. It's like this, I don't know, creativity is not there. And I hope I'm not being harsh. I don't mean to be critical. I'm just saying, I don't think the interest is there. Like, we're always looking, what can I scope next? What can I show people? And that's because the whole thing was pretty new. Since then, it's gotten like saturated, you know. And there are so many YouTubers now doing, you know, adventure stuff. They're on a boat or they're hiking or taking a motorcycle. Guys driving his motorcycle around the world. He drives it onto a boat, goes to the next place, gets off the boat, you know. He's driving through Africa. All these people are doing all these amazing things. And what happens is, to tell a story like that, you can't live stream it. Because, okay, you want to try to live stream in Gambia? Good luck with that, okay? You want to try to live stream on the Serengeti? Tanzania? Uganda? Good luck getting a signal. It's really, I mean, the only way to go with that kind of a, it's really vlogging, you know? So Bernardo was saying, since Periscope is down, live streaming content is going down. Yeah, which is very true, and I can't understand why Musk didn't bring it back. I mean, he did everything else. So he said, visit next week a music streamer from the old days in Dublin. That's fantastic. Well, tell him that MJ says hi, because, you know, we need more of that content. But it's just, I used to do a talk show because I was a national talk show host. Now today you know, when I'm speaking, I'm not too coherent. I'm trying to do so many things at once, and I don't have a producer, you know, with a watch and counting down. And I was managing the camera, and I, quite frankly, had a couple technical things. But yeah, you know, we used to like doing the talk shows, and we had a lot of interaction. But tonight I have advertised, you know, the fact that I have a tonight, you know, I've been advertising the toll-free number and nobody's calling. So anyway, of course I had the audio turned off when I went to the slide, but yeah, that was a technical issue that I need to solve and I didn't. Because I had the opening slides off. I mean, I had the audio off because they were, you know, the introduction to the show. But I just think the interest is not there. I think, you know, it's just, and people are more critical too. I don't know if you noticed that, but a lot of what's going on now is there's fracturing in the dating world, you know, and there's men against women. There's a lot of debates. There's men going their own way, MGTOW, guys like Andrew Wilson, who are amazing debaters and very logical, who are making some pretty good money debating, quite frankly, what I consider to be ridiculous topics that I don't know why there's even a debate. I have no idea, but they're debating them. So let's do this. Let's see if we can focus on, oh, sorry, that was already gone. Never mind. But yeah, Periscope went down, you know, but the whole thing too is Periscope did not, they weren't careful about the moderation and they didn't keep up the technology. You know, I presented it to them too. I presented it to Broadcast, if I'm not mistaken. But I came up with a moderation strategy that would have let the community moderate. The people who were watching the live stream could be the moderators. And the deal is, that's what fell apart. It got to be full of obscene content. And then, but here's the thing too. I got to remind you that during COVID, there was so much censorship that people, I mean, I did live streams during COVID because I'm in Taiwan, we had no lockdowns, but you know, some of my live streams got deleted. They got taken down for medical misinformation. What the hell are you talking about, medical misinformation? I told people what was happening here, what the Taiwan government did, you know? And so, you know what I did? I went through, and this is bad because this kind of stuff, this is what they want. They want self-censorship. They want you to go, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. You know, they were nice and, you know, oh, we had to take this video down because of medical misinformation, and you probably didn't do it on purpose, and you probably didn't know. But if you do it 2 more times, we're going to destroy your channel. And they found 2 and they took it down. And I said, okay, I'm not taking a chance on this. And I just went back and every video that had COVID as the thumbnail, I mean, as a keyword, I deleted them. I deleted a bunch. I don't even know. And here's the thing. Someday they could go back and find something else that I said that they don't like. See, here's the funny thing, right? This is all goes back to Reddit and that whole moderator thing. You know, I was on Reddit, right? RPen. I had 430,000 people watching me live, and I was right over there at Win-Wins talking about stuff, and some guys were razzing me and giving me crap, and I was, you know, giving it back to them. And the moderator cut my stream and permanently blocked me from streaming. It was a woman, and she said she didn't like what I said. And here's the thing. I asked her, what did I say? And she instantly pasted like this big thing. So she was taking notes. She was armed and ready for me, okay? And it's all feminist talking points. Oh, you said this, so it means this about women. No, it doesn't. That's what I said this, but you would. So basically I said, you blocked me because you inferred a bunch of stuff from what I said. But here's the thing, none of it was against the terms of service. That's the deal. So you get these moderators in place, and they're moderating stuff. Oh, that makes you feel uncomfortable. Well, it's called being in a free society. And people forget that when you live in a free society, you run the risk of being offended. And let me tell you, I would much more prefer, to run the risk of having somebody offend me than to have to watch what I say, because the government will get me, you know? And this is happening everywhere. I saw today on a local news channel in USA that a woman made a post on Facebook about the water quality in her community, and she got arrested for it. That's Gestapo stuff right there. That's thought police stuff, you know? She's got a First Amendment violation lawsuit that she's brought, you know? And so, yeah, the problem with live streaming is I'm sitting here, I'm telling you this stuff. YouTube could say, oh, what I said just now was, you know, against YouTube or something, or what, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? They can just do anything. So the way to do it is to have your own platform. And yeah, I know how to do it. It's just, you just got to throw money at it. But you know, I have the web host to do it. I own the domains. But quite frankly, it's like, what do you get out of it? I don't live stream enough to do it, to make it worth my while. And it's just money going out and there's nothing coming in, because the only way really, I mean, to monetize yourself is YouTube. All these other alternatives like Rumble and Odyssey, and these things, they don't pay off for the average Joe. They only work for somebody that's controversial, that's not going to be like in the mainstream. You know what I mean? Like if they're talking political, or they're doing a talk show and they have I don't know, controversial doctors coming on talking about medical stuff that's off the normal spectrum. Can't do that on YouTube. And YouTube is the only place that you can really make money doing this stuff these days. It's unfortunate. So what you have to do is make sure that, like me, my income and my lifestyle has nothing whatsoever to do with YouTube, not based on anything that YouTube does. So anyway, in the description of my latest video, you can see our website at asiancastings.com. That's what I do. But I think I'm going to shut down and end the stream. And I've had a blast. And you guys are great. And thank you so much for joining. Nice to see you again, Bernardo. Thank you so much. Fist bump to you. And I'm going to leave you with the mirrorless camera. Maybe we can catch another lens flare in another minute or two. And we're going to say good night, wan an, and zaijian. See you guys next time. This is MJ Klein for The Real Taiwan.